Hi you all, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so look at what I got going on here. Okay, this is how you know this is evergreen season for me. Okay, I actually called it like nuts and berry season because it is the fall, and this is when we start to gather up a lot of our nuts and the berries and so on and so forth. But I'm actually saying it's evergreen season as well, because a lot of the vegetation is going dormant, and it is the fall. But what continues to thrive on are the evergreens. So the evergreens will include pine, include juniper, will include spruce trees, will include many different evergreen trees that actually thrive and live all year round. All year round. I'm sorry. No matter where you live, no matter how cold it is, they still live and they still put out something that you can work with, right? So, usually around Christmas time, the evergreens gets its shine, right? So, look at, I got this, to show like for decoration for today and so on and so forth, and throughout my entire evergreen video series that it seems like I'm doing now. Root workers, we like to forage. Root workers need to forage all year round. Root workers don't have any excuse not to connect with nature, not to be able to go out and get our supplies some way, somehow, and giving thanks to Mother Earth, giving thanks to the very ground that our ancestors are buried in, and so on and so forth. So, I foraged some juniper. It is called cedar in the U.S. as well. So juniper is edible. The foliage, which are the leaves, and also here, what looks like to be a berry, is also edible too. These are medicinal ingredients in hoodoo, both physically and metaphysically. The berry, which is the juniper berry, is also called the gin berry. It's not a berry at all. It's actually a fleshy cone. The juniper is in the cone family. So this is a fleshy cone, but it looks like a berry. So it's nicknamed the gin berry because this is the main flavoring ingredient in gin, right? And also in hoodoo, it is primarily used for love work, more so like an aphrodisiac in attraction, not, binding or anything like that. But this is more so like attraction, such as the way that perfumes are in the air or cologne is in the air, so on and so forth. So the berries were known to be placed in whiskey or even vinegar, and for about a month in a dark place, prayed over, and people will actually take that berried filled vinegar or whiskey and consume some in hopes to attracting someone. They would take the berries and add it as an ingredient in their mojos, have the entire branch, this is a female branch by the way, hanging in their bedroom, and so on. So how do you know it's a female? You can tell it's female because these look like berries, the little blue berries, and the male actually look like cones, little tiny cones. I showed it in the clip before. So that's how you can tell the difference between male and female. When the males look like that, they are ready to pollinate the female juniper. And the males can actually pollinate many female junipers from one tree. The juniper tree grows tall. They're also in bushes as well. And they can grow pointy just like this. Just like this. And so some juniper trees or cedar trees are actually used as Christmas trees because of that. Many different evergreen trees are used as Christmas trees. So, the foliage is actually used to warn off negative spirits, to banish negative spirits, to break hexes placed in washes and baths, or even dragged across the body downward to remove negative energy. The foliage is used for protection against negative spirits that may be sent your way. So it is hung at the top of the door, above the bed as well. My tip for the modern day root worker or hoodoo practitioner, I like to put things in front of my television for protection, because I view televisions or TVs as portals. They're doors, electronic doors. So you may put some cedar at the bottom of your television. Do something with the sticks and create crosses, so on and so forth. Now let's talk about what you can do with this besides putting the berries in vinegar or whiskey. You can actually create what's called a powder, like an attraction powder. The attraction powder can also be placed into an oil to create a conditioned oil. Conditioned oils are named conditioned oils because the oil is formulated based on the condition at hand. Okay, so you can create a powder. The powder can also be placed into candles to dress them. I am going to give you an example of a very potent powder that you can use from the Bible. The recipe is from the Bible, Song to Songs, or Songs of Solomon. I have some foraged juniper berries that I foraged last year. They are dried. These are fresh because I went and got them myself. But these are dried. You may dry them out yourself by just leaving it out in the sun, or you can put them into a dehydrator. I do have a dehydrator. The reason why you want them dry is because you're creating a powder. Now, here is an awakening Bible verse with the recipe. And what I mean by awakenings, because you want to use a Bible verse or a holy word to awaken your work. You want to put your hands into the work to transfer the energy that you have into your work. What we have here is we have aloe vera, which is considered a sweet aloe. In addition to, we have some cinnamon, and there's some other things that you could add into the powder. 2 ways to make it into a powder. You may grind it up with a mortar and pestle, right? Or you can put it into a coffee grinder. If you're going to use a coffee grinder, I suggest you go back into that powder, and you're going to have to work your hands in that powder, because it is very important that you put the energy into the powder. That's why old school grinding it up with your hands is very effective as far as putting energy into your work. After you have fed your ingredients, your tobacco smoke, and your whiskey, you may also use gin to feed this the ingredients too. So Songs of Songs 4, 13 under Lovers, which will give you the ingredients for this aphrodisiac / love powder that you can create. So you're going to take dried juniper berries. You're going to add that into your ingredients, and the ingredients as follows. Your plants are in orchard of pomegranates, so you want to take some pomegranate seeds. With choice of fruits. Songs of Songs speaks of apples, so you may take some dried apples, the skin of the apple or the seed, and add it into your powder. With henna and nard. Nard and saffron, so you want to add saffron into this powder. Camelus, some sugar cane, some dried sugar cane, and some cinnamon. With every kind of incense tree. With myrrh, add myrrh into it, and aloes. When it comes to attraction work, you want to use sweet aloes. Aloe vera is considered a sweet aloe. And all the finest spices. You are a garden, fountain, as well as flowing water, right? Streaming down from Lebanon. Oh my goodness. Okay. Imagine you calling up your ancestors. Imagine you've said your prayer, and then you go ahead and you use this Bible verse to awaken as well as the ingredients. You're going to have something. You're going to have something powerful. Right? So you can take that powder that you have created and put it into a sack and carry it with you, or leave the ingredients whole so that it's better to carry with you. You can put it into a candle, and so on and so forth. There's so much that you can do with powders in hoodoo. You may sprinkle it on your bed, in the pillowcase, under the bed. Feed your hands with the powder, so on and so forth. To give it a little oomph, an extra ingredient would be the raccoon penis bone. You can grind it up and use some of the powder from the bone of the raccoon penis bone and add it into your powder, because the raccoon penis bone is known for sensuality, sexuality, abundance, fertility. It is also good for good luck, and so on and so. Another ingredient used is balm of Gilead, right? So balm of Gilead is also mentioned in Songs of Songs or Songs of Solomon. Why am I using Songs of Songs instead of Psalms? For those who don't know, people who practice Hoodoo, we don't just use Psalms. We use the entire Bible. And Songs of Songs or Songs of Solomon is the book that is known for the book of love. So if I'm going to tell you about an aphrodisiac or an attraction incense, the best place for me to get the Bible verse and tell you where to get the Bible verse will be from Songs of Songs. So that's why, let's talk about ingredients that you can use for protection in creating a powder by using dried foliage from the juniper. You may use hot chili flakes, hot chili flakes. You may also use sulfur. You can use salt. You can use the seeds that's inside the devil's pod, or you can take pieces of, this is actually a devil's claw, I'm sorry, pieces of the devil's claw and create the powder. Dress your candle, dress your petition in the powder, dress the front of your door, under your doormat if you have a doormat, for protection. I hope, also what I forgot to tell you all is you can burn cedar as incense for protection and exorcism to clear out negative spirits. You can burn it as well. I do provide cedar already made and prepared, ready to burn on my website, DianaJanae.com. I will link it below if you're interested in getting the juniper cedar from my website. But it is a true exorcism herb. It is stronger than sage. It gets out the negative energy. I do want to add that. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all learned something. Be careful with that gin, because they say gin make you sin, or get you loose as a goose. So be careful with that. I'm just kidding. Not kidding. And you all have a blessed day.